Yahoo News Chief investigative correspondent Michael Isikoff is in Washington. So, Michael, you have been reporting that the president has been in contact as recently as last month with a man who's at the center of many of the Trump administration's Russia problems. Now, one Republican senator says Mike Flynn might also be at the center of a criminal investigation. Let's listen to what he said on Thursday.
It was a counterintelligence investigation before now. It seems to me now to be considered a criminal investigation.
So I want to ask you, what has Mike Flynn been telling his friends about recent communications with the president?
Well, first of all, he remains steadfastly loyal to President Trump, even though President Trump fired him, even though his lawyer has suggested has said he wants immunity in exchange for any testimony he provides, which triggered all sorts of speculation that he might be willing to finger President Trump in some wrongdoing. Michael Flynn has told friends and associates, no way, thank God President Trump is president, he said to one friend after Trump had fired him. And probably most significant, at a dinner he had with a small group of friends that just a month ago, April 25th, after the meal was over, he mentioned he was still in communication with President Trump and had just gotten a message from the president saying, stay strong. And
Michael, did your sources indicate how it was that the president sent that message to Flynn?
No, there was no indication of whether this was a phone message, a Twitter message, direct message, a text message. We don't know, but it raises obviously a lot of questions. The very idea that the president would be in communication with the subject of a criminal investigation is pretty surprising in and of itself. You put it together with the accounts of James Comey's meeting with the president on February 14th, in which the president asked Comey to back off the investigation of Flynn. And, you know, there are the elements that could be put together to make a case that there's been some effort to obstruct justice here. Now, I should say that Flynn's friends put a very different cast on it. They say these are just two men who have bonded together during the campaign, felt they were in a foxhole, and have stayed loyal to each other. And when Trump made those comments to Comey, if in fact he made them, he sort of denied that he made them in the press conference today, but this is according to Comey's reported account in that memo. It was just a plea to go easy on an old friend who was down on his luck and had been ostracized by peers and was having trouble finding new employment to pay some very steep legal fees.
So you say it raises questions. Is there anything illegal about that kind of contact between the president and Flynn?
Not in and of itself, but it obviously depends on how much contact, what they have been saying to each other, and have they talked about the prospect that Flynn might testify and what he would say if he did testify. If the conversation moved in that direction, then it could arguably be a case of witness tampering. But I think these are questions that Bob Mueller, the new Justice Department special counsel, is going to have to sort out. And given now we have a report that there's been communication between Flynn and the president, I think it would be likely that Mueller would want to see what the nature of those communications have been.
So, Michael, you mentioned that Flynn's lawyer said back in March he'd be willing to be interviewed by the Senate Intel Committee in exchange for immunity. But at the same time, Mike Flynn seems to be unwavering in his loyalty to the president. Those two things would seem to contradict each other somewhat. What have your sources indicated about Michael Flynn's feelings toward the president?
Well, just that he, as I said, he is totally loyal to the president. There doesn't seem to be, at least in what Flynn is telling friends and associates, any daylight between himself and the president. He blames his legal troubles on the Obama administration. The investigation, after all, did begin under President Obama, after President Obama had recommended that Trump not hire Flynn as National Security Advisor. And he also blames aides to Hillary Clinton, the Clinton camp. He believes that they targeted him, pushed people to investigate him because of the role he played in the campaign, most famously that speech at the Republican National Convention in which he led the delegates in the chants of "Lock her up."
All right, Michael Isikoff, really compelling reporting. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.